The Iron Dome. What is an Iron Dome? Iron Dome is an air defense system, meaning that its objective is to intercept incoming rockets on the country's territory. The project started in 2007 and became active around 2011. Iron Dome is a multi-mission system capable of intercepting rockets, artillery, mortars, and precision-guided munitions like very short-range air defense systems as well as aircraft, helicopters, and unmanned aerial vehicles over short ranges of up to 70 kilometers. It is an all-weather system and can engage multiple targets simultaneously and can be deployed over land and sea. Iron Dome is manufactured by Rafale Advanced Defense Systems Limited and has been in service with Israel Air Force since 2011. The radar system was developed by ELTA. Its development was promoted after a series of rocket attacks on Israel by Hezbollah and Hamas in the 2000s. In the 2006 Lebanon War, around 4,000 rockets were fired on the northern parts of the Israel, resulting in the death of about 44 Israeli civilians and evacuation of around 250,000 citizens. Following the development of the system was taken up. How does an iron dome work? An Iron Dome battery consists of a battle management control unit, a detection and tracking radar, and a firing unit of three vertical launchers with 20 interceptor missiles each. The interceptor missile use a proximity fuse to denote the target warhead in the air. The Iron Dome is deployed in a layered defense along with the David Sling and Arrow missile defense systems, which are designed for medium and long-range threats. According to a 2013 research paper by Yitfa S. Shahpur titled "Lessons from the Iron Dome", in military and strategic affairs, one of the system's important advantages is its ability to identify the anticipated point of impact of the threatening rocket, to calculate whether it will fall in a built-up area or not, and to decide on this basis whether to not to engage it. This prevents unnecessary interception of rockets that will fall in an open areas and does not cause damage, the paper states. The system has intercepted thousands of rockets so far and, according to Rafale, its success rate is over 90%. The I-Dome or the Iron Dome is the mobile variant with all components on a single truck, and Sea Dome is the naval version for deployment on ships. Each of Israel's five Iron Dome missile defense batteries can defend against short-range rockets and artillery shells launched within almost 45 miles of the mobile battery. Now, what are the system components? The first one is detection. The radar unit identifies an incoming rocket and relays information about its speed and trajectory to battery's controller center. Calculation. Control center computers calculate if the rocket is going to hit populated areas. If it is, an interceptor missile is fired. Guidance. The interceptor missile receives constant guidance updates from the control center and from its internal radar. Interception. The missile destroys the incoming rocket by exploding near it. The goal is to do this far from populated areas, minimizing damage on the ground. What are the limitations of the system? The system has performed very well so far. However, the system can see limitations when it is overwhelmed with a barrage of projectiles. The system has a saturation point. It is capable of engaging a certain unpublished number of targets at the same time, and no more. Additional rockets fired in a crowded salvo could succeed in breaching defenses and cause damage, Mr. Shapur says in the paper. Several assessments suggest that Hamas is developing mitigating strategies, including lowering the trajectories of the projectiles, while also continuing to accumulate thousands of rockets with improved precision. According to Mr. Shapur, one of the possible limitations is the system's inability to cope with very short-range threats, as estimates put the Iron Dome's minimum interception range at 5 to 7 kilometers. The other factor is the cost of the interception is high. The cost of the interception missile is about $40,000 to $50,000, according to Mr. Shapur. On the other side, faced with a defense like the Iron Dome, groups like Hamas try to overwhelm the system, launching dozens if not hundreds of rockets, knowing most will be intercepted and never hit their intended targets but hoping that if they send enough, at least a few will. As of Friday, according to Israel's officials, militants in Gaza fired 2,200 rockets, with the Iron Dome intercepting 85 to 90% of the rockets that threaten people to the infrastructure.